Good morning. My name is Nicholas Hecko and I'm a watchmaker.
Hello, I'm Andrew. I'm also a watchmaker.
Andrew asked me, what am I wearing today?
What are you wearing today?
A monster Marine Master Seiko from 2017, 10 years old.
Wow, that's cool. How big's the case on that one?
It's a big. A lot of people ask for review on Marine Master,
Yep.
and I got this one out of our junk box. So we probably see this is not a new watch. It's been around for 10 years, and I'm thinking maybe we can do a review 10 years later
Okay.
to show our viewers scratches and case and
That's a good idea.
performance.
Yeah, why not?
Just as an idea. Let us know if you want to see a review 10 years after of Seiko Marine Master.
Marine Master, huh?
And what are you wearing?
I've got an actual Marine Master. I've got a Marine Monster.
Show me.
Wow. That is
That is the largest watch in the world.
literally. I have a normal sized wrist. Just for anyone, like maybe he's just got really small hands.
You've been suffering for 20 minutes. I think you can take it off now.
Yeah. It's actually, I don't know how you would, I wear my watches on my right. I don't know how you would wear this on your left.
Right. Let's just start with the quick case description.
Yep.
60 mil case diameter bezel,
60 mil. Wow.
including crown 72 mil, 20 mil thick. 50 mil is a crown diameter, crown guard diameter.
Wow.
And
15 mil, that's like your finger. Look at it.
so what happened? This watch came in the other day
Yep.
with a pile of other watches, and of course I knew straight away this is not the original Zlatoust Russian Navy watch from 1940s, 50s, 60s.
Zlatoust Chizovny Zavod,
Yep.
for all our Russian viewers.
So it's not the original. The original one has no sweep second hand, and it looks slightly different.
Yep.
The case looks same, but it's not fancy. There's nothing fancy on a dial. This one has a VMF, Russian Marine, SSSR, and so on, 700 meters on it. So I knew straight away this is not the original, but I had no idea what the watch really is.
Okay.
So,
Fake.
well, it's not fake.
So not fake, not original.
What else could it be?
Homage.
Yeah, a tribute watch,
Yeah.
and it could be a replica of some kind. But it turned out it's something completely different, and I've never heard that term before. But so I learned something new about this watch. The question that really I wanted to answer for myself was who made the watch, when, and why, and what kind of movement is inside, and whether that movement is repairable. And if it is repairable, what time keeping accuracy should we expect from watch like this? So I pulled it apart yesterday, and
Should we even be calling this a watch? That's the question.
yeah, I don't know.
That's a clock.
So I pulled it apart yesterday,
Yep.
disassembled completely. We have a little video of disassembly process.
Nice.
You put it back together this morning.
Yep.
All right. So
Surprisingly good results.
let's start with who potentially made this watch.
Okay.
It starts with World War II Moscow watch factory relocation. We
Yep.
talk about first relocation,
Yeah.
which was to Chistopol.
Yep. The Checheze, or if you see 443, it's not numbers, they're actually Cyrillic letters. But Chistopol, Chizovny Zavod, that's the location for the factory. And this one is a 343, or
Zlatoust.
Zlatoust Chizovny Zavod.
Yeah. Zchz.
Zcheze. That's right, that's what I was thinking of.
So, why relocation? Just very briefly to start with.
Well, Moscow was under threat, or Moskva was under threat.
Moskva.
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 Moskva
Yep.
was under threat. And obviously they didn't want any of their capabilities or their important facilities to be harmed. So they moved everything, watchmakers included, and I'm sure machinists and a bunch of other people, as far east as possible. And that's where I guess you get Vostok from,
Yeah.
which means east. Yeah.
Of course, Russian just 10 years prior to World War II imported watchmaking machinery and watchmaking production lines from America.
Yeah, Ansonia.
And-
You would have heard of like Ansonia clocks. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one was Hamden.
Hamden.
Yep,
Yeah.
Hamden was specialist of making pocket watches,
Okay.
right? And it happened that most of that Hamden manufacturing line went to Zlatoust,
Okay.
right? So in a very, like, okay, there is a connection straight away. Pocket watch manufacturer, huge.
I honestly, I don't think that would fit in my pocket, but that's another story.
Right, so the story starts with a pocket watch manufacturing capability.
Yep.
And during World War II, Zlatoust watchmakers produced mainly large clocks, well, for tanks,
Oh, okay.
right? By Hamden, original Hamden design.
Yeah.
But somewhere around 1942-3, the Ministry of War made a special request, an order, for Zlatoust watchmakers to start making divers wristwatches.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Cool.
So no wristwatch movements. The only solution was for them to start making wristwatches with tank
Yeah.
clocks.
So this is a tank clock for sure.
Well, we get to that in a second. The original again had no sweep second, only time only.
Okay.
And by the way, while we're talking about hands, what style of hands are on this watch?
Is that a cathedral hand?
Yes, cathedral hand. Now, cathedral hands, communist Russia. Why would the communist Russia put cathedral hands on anything?
Okay.
Well, that
that's
goes back to
interesting.
Hamden. These are Hamden hands,
Ah, okay.
right? So dies and presses were already set for that style of
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
manufacturing. And no sweep second hand. It was again pocket watch movement with two hands. Case design. A solid chunk of steel.
Yep.
So it's a two-piece case. Most of the case is one solid chunk.
Yeah, so the bezel up, really, there's nothing behind it. That's all crystal and dial. That lower section there, which may be a bit easier to see, that lower half it's almost the billet that you would start making a case. Like, we could probably make a case out of this case.
Yeah, Sea Dweller starts with that.
Yeah, and then they shrink it down to its final size.
Of course, I started disassembling. You know, my curiosity was what kind of movement is in this wristwatch. I knew it's not going to, it wouldn't be a pocket watch tank movement. And yeah, after removing a bezel and a crystal, how thick is a crystal?
It looked like
I've
it looked like
measured
they
someone.
stole that glass out of someone's windshield. It's so thick.
Yeah, 2.85, 3 mil almost thick,
Wow.
53 mil in diameter. And it's not crystal, it's not hardlex, it's not sapphire.
No, it's literally a sheet of glass.
It's a glass.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll talk about the seal as well.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
seal that's in there almost looks like a tire.
It looks like you know, your kitchen sink piping,
Oh, yeah, like
connection
the
seal,
Yeah, the S-trap seal.
S-trap seal. We'll put a photo of the seal on a screen. So we got to the movement, and there it was, Raketa 2609 movement inside. What do we know about Raketa? Well, it was a sort of ETA movement of Russian horology.
Yeah.
Quite well made. There is even an attempt to straight graining on the bridges.
Yep.
Out of case, it was running about plus 30 seconds, but it was extremely dry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, so I disassembled it quickly. You did overhaul.
Yep, got it cleaned. There was that kind of dry where the lubricant forms like that kind of, stain, like that paste on the jewels. But otherwise it was okay. The pallet stones were not scored, they weren't chipped, all those kind of important, delicate components. Very fine pivots. The pivots were super fine, actually. Even more so, I would say, than like a 2892, which is interesting. But, it went together fine.
And after the overhaul, lubrication, it is now adjusted to literally 1-2 seconds, 0 per day. Fantastic result.
270 degrees-ish.
Yeah, but one curiosity is if you're overhauling Raketa and you go online to look for the lift angle, most likely you'll find lift angle of 44 degrees. That's wrong. That was a very early Raketa. The current ones are, or the ones, from 70s, 80s, 90s, lift angle is closer to 52 degrees. So that's just a little tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got first answers. It's a good movement. It
Yeah.
is a Russian movement, so it's not a plastic quartz movement inside or
Yep.
some Chinese movement.
Yep.
So that's a good thing, and it does keep time.
Yeah. It keeps time better than I thought it would. Yeah.
The question is, was that watch manufactured in Zlatoust or not? The another thing that would be a kind of lead us to connection to Zlatoust factory would be if the dial is radioactive. Because the original tank watches and divers watches from 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s
Yep.
were radioactive. And if there was a radioactivity connection, then certainly that will lead us to that part of a tribute watch
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
commemorative
sure.
watch. And yeah, we fire up the Geiger counter.
Yeah, we bought that a long time ago. I'm surprised it's still working, but we do have a lot of radium dial pocket watches, which fortunately are sitting very close to where you sit. So we should probably move those. But you can see that one of them screaming. Well, the counter is screaming with one of them, and then not so with the dial.
Yeah, so that's right. When we tested the counter, it really went crazy. With a Russian VMF, nothing happened. There was zero radioactivity. So
Yeah, we're confident that it is not a radioactive dial, which then means maybe unlikely to have been made there.
yeah.
Okay.
The other dead giveaway and was the fact that dial screws. I think you noticed that as well.
They were clipped.
They were clipped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah,
They were nipexed.
Yeah, it's like maybe they're a replacement. Maybe they weren't the original ones.
It is a sign always of Franken or put together.
Okay.
Put together. If they have no time to manufacture screws to fit, what they're doing, they're just clipping the longer one in order to
Okay.
make the conversion. So that's always bad sign. That's really disappointing to see.
Okay.
Watchmakers know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, just to be clear, so they're not normal dial screws you would see that come in the side of the movement. Because it's like a monocoque case, the movement goes in, and then the dial goes on top of that after the fact. So there's two screws in the actual face of the dial, which is funny because that's very independent watchmaking. That's like FP Journe does that as well sometimes. But yeah, and then you assemble the hands when it's in the case, and then you finally put the bezel on with the 50,000 layers of seals and glass.
So it was the entire time the thinking was maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You discover one thing that is pointing in
It's pointing east from
East.
Moscow. Yeah.
and then you discover next thing that is taking you away from that Zlatoust. For example, you can see the case back. He's got all these marine insignia, the submarine propeller, and there was no time for that kind of extravagant
Yeah.
decoration on a military watch. And so that was another obvious thing. However,
I suppose, we see like military watches, they literally have a scratched serial number in there and that's it.
Yeah. Well, on a railway it was also a thing. The other thing that was kind of still troubling me a little bit was this box. And the box is vintage looking, at least. And everything looks right about the box. It does look like from maybe 60s.
Okay.
But there was a problem on the box itself. It doesn't say Zlatoust. It says Zlatoust, and the letter T is missing.
Okay.
Right, so it wasn't Zlatoust, it was Zlatoust,
Yep.
which is again, internet answered that question, saying yes, the watch is made around 1970s, 80s, 90s, with old Russian Raketa movements were put together and sold to visitors mainly to Moskva, as tourist watches.
Right.
So
Okay.
this is the official name of that watch. It's called the tourist watch.
The tourist watch. Wow.
Okay. So yeah, are we disappointed?
I don't think so. I think knowing the history behind a watch kind of bridges that gap a little between homage and original. Whether this one was a tourist to the bottom of the ocean or not is another story, but yeah, it's still pretty cool.
Should you invest in Russian watches? By all means, a lot of fun.
Invest your time, maybe not your money, depending on.
Watch videos about Russian watches.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I completely forgot. We have this Grand Seiko titanium diver.
Wow.
That is amazing watch. Like it would be pity not to have this watch professionally restored
properly.
by Grand Seiko Japan. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of just doing one YouTube video
Okay.
on the whole process. So
Why not?
taking the watch down to Grand Seiko,
That's cool.
getting a receipt, finding out how much is that going to cost, how long it's going to take,
Yep.
and then photos.
And then timing how long it actually takes, yep.
And then photos before of the watch and after
okay.
restoration.
Ooh,
So
you're on notice, Grand Seiko.
I just love this. Well, look at this. So if you think that will be of interest,
Oh, this is that's the same size as a Rolex ladies Datejust compared to this one.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Right. So do let us know. Do you want to follow a story of Grand Seiko Diver High Beat Titanium restored by Grand Seiko or not? Leave a comment in a comment section.
Yeah. Surely, yes, that's going to be cool.
Tomorrow we want to talk about auction results of Geneva Independence. This is very important. Some crazy numbers coming from Geneva. Makes me rethink the whole idea. Maybe you should get back into making our own watch.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then we will be hitting 100,000 subscribers in 3-4 days from now.
Cool.
So stay tuned and what
Captain
happens
Turtle.
there. Yep.
So Captain Turtle giveaway. We're going to pick 2 people from the 100,000 subscribers. Number 1 is getting the Captain Turtle Grand Seiko. Seiko Arctic Glacier, closest dial to a Grand Seiko. And the other watch is the Seiko Supercars 2026 GMT, which we racketed against the wall and then overhauled. I don't know if I should say that.
You can say that,
Yeah,
of course, there
yeah.
is a video about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And finally, in the comments, please let us know, do we look like two, what was the word they used yesterday when they said disappointed?
Yeah.
Do we look like two disappointed independent clowns?
Yeah.
Or do we look like where do we start with the horology?
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Happy horology. See you next time.
I just had an
Yep.
idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe you should. I'll do it because I'll take the hit for the team. Why don't we go to? I'll go to Japan and drop this off directly. Obviously, paid for trip by.
This is the most stupid idea I've heard in a long time.
I mean, I'll do it. If you want me to do it, I'll do it.
At your own cost?
Not at my own cost, but maybe next time I go to Japan, I'll bring some.
Well, you tell us, should Andrew go to Japan and hand deliver a Grand Seiko diver to Japanese studio for full refurbishment? I really want to see the end result.
Yeah. Surely it's a Zaratsu polish, so it would be nice to see the restored Zaratsu polish because we've seen it obviously brand new. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Again, we have to go. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.